Donald Trump, just weeks away from being invested with the immense powers of the presidency, calling for a criminal investigation into Liz Cheney over witness tampering after a report from House Republicans singled her out, accusing her of colluding with a witness on the January 6th committee and recommending she be investigated for possible criminal prosecution. The president-elect weighing in on Tuesday's report just 3 hours ago, saying this on his Truth social platform, quote, Liz Cheney could be in a lot of trouble based on the evidence obtained by the subcommittee, which states that numerous federal laws were likely broken by Liz Cheney, and these violations should be investigated by the FBI, end quote, 3:11 a.m. this morning. The president-elect there, referring to the report released yesterday by a Republican-controlled House subcommittee, alleging what it called, quote, the failures and politicization of the January 6th Select Committee, end quote. The report calls the committee, quote, a political weapon with a singular focus to deceive the public into blaming President Trump for the violence on January 6th and tarnish the legacy of his first presidency. Among the report's allegations against Cheney that she colluded with one of the committee's witnesses, Cassidy Hutchinson, who served as an assistant to White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. Hutchinson provided testimony about Trump's actions on January 6th, including recounting a story she was told about an interaction the president had with his Secret Service driver.
The president said something to the effect of, I'm the effing president, take me up to the Capitol now. To which Bobby responded, sir, we have to go back to the West Wing. The president reached up towards the front of the vehicle to grab at the steering wheel. Mr. Engel grabbed his arm, said, sir, you need to take your hand off the steering wheel. We're going back to the West Wing. We're not going to the Capitol. Mr. Trump then used his free hand to lunge towards Bobby Engel.
In a lengthy statement, Cheney refuted the report's findings. She says that it, quote, intentionally disregards the truth and the Select Committee's tremendous weight of evidence and instead fabricates lies and defamatory allegations in an attempt to cover up what Donald Trump did, end quote. What did Donald Trump do? On January 6th, after spending months promoting false claims of election fraud, he stood on the ellipse and he said this.
We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved. All Vice President Pence has to do is send it back to the states to recertify, and we become president, and you are the happiest people. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
In the hours after those remarks, this violent mob stormed the Capitol in an attempt to prevent the certification of Trump's defeat. Some rioters chanting, hang Mike Pence, Trump's own vice president at the time, because Pence refused to violate his oath of office. That deadly day's events were enough at the time for Republicans to condemn Trump.
There's no question, none, that President Trump is practically and morally responsible for provoking the events of the day. No question about it.
The president bears responsibility for Wednesday's attack on Congress by mob rioters. He should have immediately denounced the mob when he saw what was unfolding.
All I can say is count me out. Enough is enough.
But now, of course, 4 years later, the Republican Party once again united behind Trump. And in little over a month, he will once again control the federal government, have the authority to order the investigations, or at least have the people that he installs in Department of Justice positions undertake investigations that he has openly called for months.
I think those people committed a major crime, sir, and Cheney was behind it. For what they did, honestly, they should go to jail.
All right, our panel is here to discuss. Jeff Zeleny, CNN Chief National Affairs Correspondent. Michael Warren, Senior Editor of The Dispatch. Karen Finney, CNN Political Commentator, former senior spokesperson for Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. And Kristen Soltis Anderson. She is a CNN Political Commentator and a Republican pollster. Welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Mike Warren, I want to start with you in terms of the the singling out of Liz Cheney in this report and the way that it sets up what Donald Trump is now. I mean, it's almost as though this House subcommittee has pitched the ball. Donald Trump is hitting it in the direction of his incoming Department of Justice. It's not as though he hasn't said this was what he was going to do, but we are now seeing it play out.
That's right, retribution. That's what he promised on the campaign trail. He was elected. He was elected overwhelmingly. If you look at the Electoral College, he's going to get his retribution, I believe. And, you know, should we be surprised that the House Republican Conference is sort of is working, you know, hand in glove with the incoming president on this? This is what the party has been saying they want to do. It's what Trump has been saying he wants to do. So now we're going to see it. And I think that that is what makes, I mean, we all know how, you know, the expected nomination of Kash Patel, I guess it's maybe now official, to run the FBI, how this was going to be, you know, really a sort of a culmination of that promise of retribution. That's the thing that, you know, a lot of, even I've talked to people who are Republicans who are concerned about Kash Patel and the amount of power he would have been trying to convey to Republican senators. Hey, listen, this guy is different. This guy really will do what Donald Trump says he wants to do at the FBI. And that message has been sort of falling on deaf ears. You've seen Kash Patel get a good reception on Capitol Hill from Republican senators. This is a concern that a lot of people have, and I think it's just going to happen.
Let's take a look at some of the things Kash Patel has said about Liz Cheney. This was back in March of this year, March 11th. Let's watch.
I think they not only knew, but the political monsters like Pelosi, Cheney, Kinzinger, Schiff, et al. Wanted that political narrative, which was insurrection. It failed in court, and now it is failing in the court of public opinion because the truth has finally come out that the January 6th committee buried evidence that corroborates what we've been saying for 3 years.
Jeff Zeleny, what are you hearing from sources when you talk to them about, I mean, this Liz Cheney used to be one of their own. She was in the leadership of the House Republican Conference. Is this something where, you know, are any House Republicans or Senate or other Republicans you talk to expressing concern about what might happen here?
Look, I mean, it's been a while since she's been one of their own. You're right. I mean, but time moves quickly here, and now she certainly is not. I mean, what this sort of is another reminder is that there is a sense of litigation in the air. We're seeing it with the president-elect. That is one of his big focuses. We saw it yesterday with his suit against the Des Moines Register and their pollster. 311 this morning, as you pointed out, talking about Liz Cheney. So that is the mindset of the president-elect. But I think overall, a lot of Senate Republicans, House Republicans are really wondering what the balance of forward-looking policy from this White House is going to be versus backward-looking retribution. And we don't know. I mean, but there is a sense that the president-elect has a great opportunity here to do things on immigration and the economy and other matters, but he is not as focused on that. So that's the worry I pick up from some Senate Republicans in particular. But I mean, to Mike's point, they are making it pretty easy for him by confirming or likely confirming, if they confirm these nominees, including Kash Patel.
Yeah. Kristen, is this where you think Trump, not necessarily Trump's core supporters, and we know his MAGA base often believes a lot of this and would support it, but the reason he won the election is because a lot of people that had voted for Democrats in the past or had, were on the fence or kind of in the middle, who are unhappy about the economy, decided they didn't want to vote for Democrats. They wanted change. Are those people going to see this and support it? I mean, or is he risking some of that? I mean, he clearly feels he has a political mandate. Is he risking that strength by going down this road?
Yeah, it was very clear that Donald Trump ran saying, I'm going to get retribution. I don't think you can say that this is a switcheroo in any way. At the same time, did he win because of it or did he win in spite of it? And I think that's an open question, and one that I assume many Republican leaders would say it's probably in spite of it. We'd rather him do the forward-looking stuff. But remember, Republican leaders have been chastened by their own voters over the last 4 years. You know, it's notable watching those clips of all of these prominent Republicans on January 6th and in the days after, condemning Donald Trump for what happened on that day, and then ultimately having to walk it back. It's not as though Republican leaders closed ranks around Donald Trump on January 6th and said, oh, let's protect him. They were ready to be rid of him. And it was their own voters that said, nope, this is the guy we want.